Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we work on the STIHL trimmer. It's an FS40C. They were using it last week and they're just trimming right along, and all of a sudden it stopped working. It wasn't out of gas. And they pulled and pulled and pulled, and they brought it here the other day. I took the spark plug out. The spark plug was wet. So I was thinking it might be the coil went bad or the switch went bad, but we're gonna make sure the carburetor's not plugged up and double check and see if there's sparks. So hope you enjoy the video. First thing I'm gonna take the air filter off. Well, the primer is circulating the gas. It's letting the excess go back in the tank. Pull the spark plug off. The day they brought it, I put a new plug in there because, like I said, the other plug was all wet, and I blew out the cylinder because it had a lot of gas in there. And I tried starting it, and nothing. It won't even pop. And on these STIHLs, I replaced these switches before, and I replaced the coils before. That's that new plug I put in there. That has real good compression. So I think let's go ahead and take this back cover off, get the recoil off here, and get to the coil, and we'll take the kill wire off the coil and try starting it. That way we'll determine if it's the switch. If it's the switch or the coil. They're just wet coming out of the muffler. Take this thing all the way apart here, it looks like. I'm gonna take the trigger assembly off. One thing good about STIHL, all the bolts or all the screws we're taking off are all the same. That's one thing good about STIHL. I might have found the problem here. Right here, the kill wires got pinched really bad. I'm gonna take this wire off the coil, that kill wire. I'm gonna take that off there and we'll spin it. We'll see if we have spark. If I take it off, it has spark. That means it's these wires. Okay, the fins are pointed that way to cool the engine, so and we got spark. It ain't the brightest spark in the world. Let's move these wires away from that shaft. Put the kill, yeah, you can see the wire right through there. It's shiny right through there. But let's pull them away from any metal. Try it again. Yeah, spark. Flip the switch off. No spark. How in the heck did them? It's almost like they had to have this off at one time. Because these wires should be tucked underneath where the throttle wire goes. Look at that. It's pinched up here. Pinched there. Pinched there. It's like it's almost assembled wrong. Because there's the little place where it hooks into that plastic there, and it's supposed to go underneath the throttle cable and run on the bottom side of that shaft there. Well, they're not touching metal. Try it one more time. So I'm going to put some black tape on these wires, and I'm going to tuck it underneath this shaft, and it should be good to go. That's how you can either test if it's your kill switch or your coil. I have coils on hand and I have switches on hand. But the switch works. Coil works, it just someone didn't do their job properly, it looks like. That's going to be a simple fix. But if I was to replace the coil, I can show you that real quick here. Here's the magnets on the flywheel. You put that right underneath the coil, and you take these two bolts out. And don't lose your washer, because this could have went either way. It could have been, and there's a spacer that goes back here too. Don't lose a spacer. This little plastic piece right here. And when these bolts they have washers on them, you don't want to lose the washers. Properly gap the air gap between the flywheel and the coil. Regular business card works just great. Just make sure the magnet's up. And you put it on there like that. And go ahead and bolt it in. And just turn the flywheel and the paper will slide right on out. So we know the wires ain't broke inside the protective covering, because you pull it away from that metal shaft and everything works. So I'm just gonna put black tape around it, fold it over. If the wires had broke, it won't work at all if you flip the switch on or off. Well, there's no way they can touch metal. Then I'm just gonna take a little bit more and just wrap it around like that. I'm sure someone's saying, well, why don't you just replace the wires? Well, I guess I could. Well, this is good. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove that shaft. I'm going to put these wires underneath where it's supposed to go. These cables are all oily, so tuck that in there. Let's put this top cover back on. Well, let's just check it one more time for spark before I get too carried away. Yeah, spark. Flip the switch off. There we go. Working like it's supposed to. Run the spark plug cable through that hole. Just slide that in like another. Need to slide in there just a little bit more. Well, it may as well be this doggone complicated. Should just slide in there. The wire is tucked in there. We don't want to. It must be in the head itself. So I'm going to put this cover back on loosely and spin the head. The cable must have popped out of the head. So we need to slide this at least ½ inch back. Just gonna put a few in there right now. Get everything all lined up here. Sorry about that. The battery and the camera died. But I finished bolted on. I got the spark plug in. You need to get the recoil put on here. Alrighty. About ready to try starting this thing up here. Now we need to put the air filter and cover back on. I'm going to blow that out a little bit. Make sure it's nice and clean. Well, let's bring the camera over here. Let's see if we can start her up now. Put on choke. We already pushed the primer button. There still might be gas in the crankcase though, but no, I think she's gonna run now. Switch works. I need to adjust that carburetor though. That thing's running really rich. Okay, there's two. There's a low and high, and on the STIHL they have a L and H on the plastic housing. If not, the carburetors will have it on there. I'm just gonna back it down, probably a quarter turn each. Get it running, I'll fine tune it here. On the low side, just the low side, when you have it idling, you give it gas, it kind of like dogs out a little bit. Open up the low a little bit. And the high is when you have it on full blast. You kind of want to get it between that really high pitched and where it starts bogging down, kind of like right in the middle. Because if you run it too lean, you can score the piston. So, but the low is when it's idling, and you give it gas, kind of open up a little bit. But I think it's set pretty good now. Anyways, I hope this video helps you out. Appreciate you watching. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please subscribe. Anyways, you guys have a good afternoon.